At this point, I can launch the first render or insert some light source. So I can open the Fast Element archive here. Click on Common Accessories. Then on the folder Lights. In this folder I can find several types of lighting. Point lights that emit light equally in all directions. Spotlights that emit light only in a certain direction. And then quad lights, which are light panels. I can change the size, the intensity and the color of quad lights. I can choose quad lights emitting light downwards, upwards, forwards, backwards, to the right or to the left. For example, I can insert a quad light under the wall units of my kitchen. Right-click. Double-click on the quad light. From here I can set the size, so 1200 wide, 5 centimeters deep and 1 millimeter thickness, as well as the position. For example, I can insert the distance of the quad light from the wall, that is few centimeters. Set intensity like 200, a fairly high value, because this quad light is small, and the smaller it is, the less light it emits. Then, from here I can set the color, even through the Kelvin scale. Let's choose, for example, 4000. Confirm. And then I can also see it in plan view. So this is our quad light. I can copy it under the other elements. Then one click. And I can insert one under the hood. And then I can copy this element again and insert one down here. Right mouse button. I can also insert a quad light on the recess of the false ceiling, which has been inserted on this wall, but I need to insert it in this direction. So what I can do is to click on Visualize and on View Elevation plus Adjacent Walls, so that you can see the false ceiling. This time I will insert a quad light emitting light upwards, then double click. I'm going to insert it here. Right mouse button, and then right mouse button again to scale it up to here. Double click. I will give a thickness of 50 millimeters to this quad light too, an intensity of 100. This value may be fine. I also select here 4000 and set the Kelvin scale. I'll press OK. And now I'm going to move it in plan view. Right mouse button. Then I select the command Move Element. One click and I move it here. I can select the orthogonal function and move the quad light here to the recess of the full ceiling. Please note that pendants already have a luminous material applied to light bulb, as I will show you later after starting rendering. Now, I can set the point of view from the 3D window and press the right mouse button. I can move in the 3D window to find a point of view that I like for rendering. For example, here it is OK. I right-click to freeze the point of view. Or if I should get lost while navigating, maybe because I'm not familiar with it, I can always restore the point of view by clicking here on Restore Point of View. And then I can set the point of view again. From here, press right mouse button. I can also insert a background. Then I click. And from here I click on Backplate, on Browse, and I can choose my background. For example, this one. And then I can edit it, change its position, rotate it, raise or lower it, or scale it from here. At this point I can click on Render. ArredoCAD has an integrated rendering engine, so it is not necessary to use external renders or pay to have renders to upload to a server. I can launch as many renders as I need. And then once I have installed ArredoCAD, I already have the rendering engine that is integrated and optimized for ArredoCAD materials. Here, I can set the image resolution. The higher the resolution, the longer the rendering times are. I'll set HD, global light, which is the light that enters from the outside inward through openings, such as windows. 2 is fine. I can also activate sunlight. These values are OK. Here, unlike global light, entering from all directions, I can set a direction for sunlight. So, for example, I can set this direction here and set an inclination of 30 degrees, for example. I can activate the backplate option. That is the background I have uploaded in the 3D window. Here, clicking on Render Setup, I can eventually insert a value for the tile joint. In this case, there is no need though. If I have tiles with a joint of a few millimeters, this function must be activated. Otherwise, light will pass through the tiles. I can set the 3D point of view clicking here, so that the rendering engine can upload the POV. I can set it here in the 3D window and use it for the rendering. Here you see that there are different types of camera, including panoramic camera. Or, with ArredoCAD, it is possible to create renders with 360 view. In the website here, you can find some renders with 360 view. With the plugin Virtual Tour 360, you can combine several renders with 360 view, so you can create a virtual tour of various spaces. I can also include multimedia elements, such as images, videos, PDF and audio files. Here you will find more examples. Here you can see the actual condition and then the project condition. Here too, I can also navigate through this plan, move from room to room, and see the actual condition here, etc. Here I can choose perspective. That is the usual way to render. I'm going to use D-Lux, which is the most recent rendering engine of ArredoCAD and the most performing one. Click on Start Rendering and then on Create Scene. At this point, I can click on Full Screen and on Configure. From here I can edit the render in real time, and the render will not start again. For example, I can change the parameters of the lights. Let's set the sun at 0.2 and sky at 0.3. I can set the value of quad lights to 5, so that you can better see the effect. I can set HDR, that is, the light coming from the external background, at 1.5 for example. And here I can set lights. Increase or decrease light intensity, depending on your needs. If you would like to create a night render, you could simply deactivate sun, sky, and HDR for example. Then you can set the luminous material that is in the chandelier at 300 in this way. The chandelier seems switched on. Of course, I can also remove the backplate. To create a night effect, I can activate the function called Denoise, which instantly cleans up all these white dots. So I'm going to click on Denoise, and I can see that after a few seconds, these dots will disappear. D-Lux is extremely fast. You can see it because it uses both processor and graphics card. It also allows you to design while rendering. I can save the image at any time. D-Lux never stops. So, it is up to me to decide when the render must be saved, because I am satisfied with the quality reached. Here in the video manual of ArredoCAD, that you can find clicking on support and on video manual, you can find a chapter dedicated to the D-Lux. Renders and lighting management with D-Lux. While here in Academy, in online courses, you can find these 2 advanced course, light management with D-Lux and material management with D-Lux, because they are the 2 factors that make the difference between a good render and an excellent render. For example, here you see a render without editing lights and materials. Here the same environment, after texture and light editing. You can see that the quality changes so much. The RealTime Player is another very interesting tool. Here I can click on Create Scene 3D. Create Scene. The project is now opening. The RealTime Player allows navigating within the project in high resolution and in real time. I can move using the mouse and the 4 keyboard arrows. In addition to navigation, I can make changes to this scene, clicking the left mouse button. Here, for example, I can adjust the general intensity of the lights. I can modify the intensity of quad lights and turn them off. I can modify the parameter sun. If I click on auto sun, I can also adjust the direction of sunlight, increase environment light. On this here are also other options to modify the scene. For example, I can open and close drawers, or change color to a material by clicking on materials. If I click on wall material, I could change the color of walls like this here. Then there are many other options. For example, the possibility to save immediately the image I am seeing. Also an image with 360 view. I can set the resolution and quality of the scene as well. Here I can click on Close Scene. Save it clicking on OK. And then I can click on Exit to close the RealTime Player. It can also be viewed in virtual reality mode with the visors MetaQuest 2 and MetaQuest 3.